We've just watched a major briefing from federal officials about Florida, where the window for evacuations is rapidly closing, with Hurricane Milton just hours away. It is now a Cat 4 with 145-mile-per-hour winds and predicted up to 15 feet of dangerous, unsurvivable storm surge. The headline, "Take this seriously and get out." As the FEMA administrator just put it, this is just different. And the concern about misinformation affecting safety is high, as we've just heard in very pointed language from President Biden.
There's been a reckless, irresponsible, and relentless promotion of disinformation and outright lies that are disturbing people. It's undermining confidence in the incredible rescue and recovery work that has already been taken and will continue to be taken. And it's harmful to those who need help the most. There is simply no place for this to happen. Former President Trump has led the onslaught of lies. Assertions have been made that property is being confiscated. That's simply not true. They're saying people impacted by these storms will receive $750 in cash and no more. That's simply not true. They're saying the money is needed for this crisis is being diverted to migrants. What a ridiculous thing to say. It's not true.
Here's what is true. Time is fast dwindling to get out. The threat of tornadoes appears to be escalating in Florida, one already touching down near I-75 in South Florida, a precursor to what officials fear will be catastrophic landfall by Milton. And anxiety on the ground is high.
We're being told that we need to leave. We're scared.
It's just hard to kind of comprehend, really.
This is a different time than any other hurricane I've been through here. It's devastating.
You can replace cars, you can replace homes, but you're not going to replace your life or your loved ones.
1,500 flights have been canceled today. At least 5 airports are closed. Ports and railroads are shut down. The barrier islands cut off entirely. Highways clogged or closed. And just getting on the road, of course, requires gas. A fuel tracking website now shows 23% of gas stations across Florida are completely out of fuel. A mother and daughter in St. Augustine say they can't find anywhere to go that they could reach before landfall, so they're staying put.
I don't think we have a choice at this point. I don't want to be out stuck on a freeway in the middle of a storm. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where to go.
One newspaper reporter says his father-in-law, who lives right in the storm's path, told him, "If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. At least I'll be in my house where I belong." Now, there are others who have no choice. Inmates in at least 6 counties under mandatory evacuation orders will remain locked down in jails or prisons. Joining me now, WNBC meteorologist Matt Brickman. We just got a lot of dire warnings from federal officials, echoing what we've been hearing for days now. Tell us where this storm is now and what's the biggest threat right now?
Well, storm surge is going to be the biggest threat, and I want to reinforce something we just heard. Do not get hung up on the category 5, 4, or 3. This is a major hurricane that is going to force a lot of ocean water on land. This storm right now is 160 miles southwest of Tampa, Florida, and tracking to the northeast at 17 miles an hour. It's already spawning multiple tornado warnings. There's a tornado watch until 9 o'clock tonight, but you can see what looked like about a dozen or so tornado warnings in effect across inland areas already, as some of those heavier rain bands are beginning to move towards shore. So here's what we expect. Landfall close to midnight tonight, between 10 and 2 a.m. as a major hurricane. Devastating wind damage along with that storm surge. Then, as we heard the president say, this will continue across land as a hurricane. Most extreme conditions around Tampa between 5 p.m. and 5 a.m. towards Fort Myers, 5 p.m. to 3 a.m. And we are talking strong winds by Tampa, 75 to 95 miles an hour. Rain totals over a foot in that storm surge in the 8 to 12-foot range. Similar conditions down towards Fort Myers as well. It will then cross across Florida here, and you're still seeing impacts into tomorrow morning in spots like Jacksonville, where 2 a.m. to 9 a.m. looks like when we should see the most extreme conditions, and down into Orlando as well. Still a hurricane at this point, capable of 40 to 60 mile an hour winds by Jacksonville. Rain totals 5 to 8 inches, and Orlando even more than that, 9 to 14 inches of rain around Orlando. Let's talk about storm surge. This happens, the worst of it, on the right side of the eye of the hurricane. Right now, it looks like the center of that storm is going to be close to Sarasota. So south of there, to the right of center, 10 to 15 feet of ocean water being pushed on land. And it's not just at the coast. This will be pushed several miles inland as well, down towards Fort Myers Beach, 8 to 12 feet. Even on the other side of the peninsula, you've got 3 to 5 feet of storm surge on the north side of that storm as it pushes water back towards land. So the hurricane warnings in effect for Tampa, Orlando, Fort Pierce, down to Fort Myers as well, and tropical storm warnings farther north as well. You can see the winds. Yes, we will see flooding down on the ground, but even at higher elevations, windows can be blown out in some of these high-rise buildings. Look at the winds around Sarasota, over 100 miles an hour. This could lead to power outages, and we expect widespread outages across the center of the state that could last for weeks. That's not to say anything yet of the rain. Heavy rain still a big part of this. There are flood watches and flood warnings already in effect here. Some spots will see road closures because of this. Rain totals could reach up to 1.5 feet. So multiple impacts. I do think storm surge is the greatest concern here, but you can see all the different things that we are already beginning to see and will continue to see at play over the next day, and then obviously in recovery for weeks. Back to you.
Is it too soon to have a sense of how long this storm might sit over any given area?
Well, here's the good news. Unlike Helene, which slowed down and produced that very heavy rain over the Carolinas, this is a quick mover. So this will make landfall overnight tonight and then clear to the east of Florida by tomorrow afternoon. It will move pretty quickly across the peninsula, so it won't produce those lingering rainfall totals for days and days. But of course, with the storm surge, that is ocean water on land that needs to recede. We could see 1.5 feet of rain. That will take time to recede as well.
Matt Brickman, thank you for that. We really appreciate it.